What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And guess what? We have a special guest today. Good old JB, Jewish Better, MMA Moneyline Mover. If you ever heard of him, description is below. Check him out on Twitter, Instagram, puts out all of his bets, all of his picks. How's it going, buddy? How's it been? Are you excited for this card? There's a lot of stuff going on with it.
We're going to be getting that Arab money this weekend, my boy. We're the Busta Rhymes. We're coming out. We're getting the full outfit. We're going through. We're getting that oil money this weekend. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I guess it's the first time they're going to Saudi Arabia, so that's kind of cool for them.
That's a great point, bro. And I think that's going to be like the future of sports. Like they have so much money, bro, that they could pay like ridiculous amounts to get the best cards there.
Well, they already own Live, the golf, and they own, and then pretty much, I think they actually own PGA too, or PGA as well. I think they like merged or something, but they're still keeping the separate names. And then they're also going to try to do like boxing, like a boxing league or something like that too. So like they're getting crazy with sports.
I think you could see an American, league team in Saudi Arabia. I know that sounds crazy, but I think
really. That would be.
I think it's possible. I think we're a whole new league in Saudi Arabia. I think there could be some stuff. I think the future of sports is Saudi Arabia, my dude. But that's for another time.
That's true. They have like you said, they have so much money. They can do whatever they want. They can buy whatever they want. Whoever, like, it's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, it's good for them and everything. So last week was UFC Vegas 93. What did you think about it? What was some of the fights that you liked about it?
So I lost a little bit on the card. Nothing crazy. I'm not gonna like cry about it. But Tatsuro Taira, I think people are sleeping on this guy, man, because of the way he got the win, right?
Yeah.
Because of the injury. But he had his back. He had the spots where he's the most dominant in the fight. So who's to say, like, I think the kid's talented, man. I think he's getting the wrong end for a guy getting injured that, let's be honest, he is the one who caused the injury, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
If this guy reacts a different way, he falls to his back. He didn't want to go to his back because he knew if Tatsuro Taira was on his back, it's going to be a big problem. So he went where? He tried to go forward, winds up breaking his leg, falls flat. He fell flat. If he didn't tap out or whatever, it was going to be a TKO anyway because Tatsuro Taira was going to keep punching. So I understand the submission bettors who are upset. But I think that's a legitimate TKO victory. Say what you want about it. I don't think he physically knocked him out, but I think he did cause the injury via the back take. And I think this kid's a problem, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like him too. I think like I was just a little bit worried that this was going to be like too much too soon for him because like if you go back and look at his like 4 or 5 wins in the UFC, they weren't against amazing people. Some of those fights too, like against Charas, he like kind of struggled a bit too. But Charas is a beast, though. I'll give him that. But yeah, this was a good win from him. He was actually looking good with his striking. That was the one little concern. Like, how good is his striking improving? Because it was improving a little bit, but it looked good. He was very patient. Didn't look like he was going to get outworked or whatever, but his grappling is always going to be amazing, too. So, yeah, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. Like, I mean, I picked Perez. I didn't have a bet on that fight, though. But I wanted Tatsuro to win because I think he is the future of the flyweight division, and he's still 24 years old. Like, he's only improving, and this is a good win, whether it's by a weird, if you want to say fluke injury, but like you said, he's the one that caused it. He had that leg wrapped up, and he was trying to get him like taken down to take his back, but it just happened and it snapped. So, I mean, good for him, but I mean, maybe not the way people want to see him win, but it still wins a win, and he looked good in that round and a half at least. So, got to give it to him.
For sure, bro. For sure. Yep. I think he's a beast, man.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to think if there's any other like really cool fights. I know we talked about the Brady Heastan fight. That was pretty crazy. He always gets knocked down and he gets back up and he just somehow wins every freaking time.
Yeah, man. That was a crazy line movement too there at the end. So
a
little bit of a weird one. But
then the Nate Maness fight, and there was no finish in that fight, which was a little crazy. It ruined some of my bets there.
Yeah, that one could have been frustrating also for a better, but I did say earlier in the week, flyweight, it's one of those weight classes where you think it's going to be a finish, and then Maness comes out there and puts on a 15-minute boring decision, right? Who could have saw that coming?
True. And then Costa looked good too against Nerdembecky too. Like he was getting ragdolled in the first couple rounds, but then finally he got that rear naked choke. So
yeah.
Did
Weird one.
you hit that sub prop?
I had the KO for Costa. I
Oh,
thought he was
okay.
going to knock him out, actually. So I felt a little bit square there. But
Yeah,
I thought the sub was a legit look as well. At the end of the day, 2-3 was the right bet. He had
true.
the takedown success early. Costa was able to get him late, man, and that was it. I thought
Exactly.
Nerdenbeck's wrestling looked good, but he didn't do no damage with it, bro. No damage.
Yeah. And then, you know, you had the 2 women's fights weren't all that great, but Josephine won by decision. That was a close decision. And then also Gabriella by a very
Both
close decision.
controversial, yeah.
Yeah. Very close for both. Yeah, other than and I can put out the Weston Wilson submission triangle armbar from Jekka.
That boy
Wild, dude.
jiu-jitsu serious.
Jekka did not give no fucks. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go straight forward and hope for the best, and he got subbed.
Yeah, he's definitely on the do not bet list for a while.
Yeah, after that performance, that's a no-go. Luckily, I had the under 1.5 on that one. But I did have Jekka in a play as well, so I feel stupid about that. But
I didn't bet the fight, but yeah, I would definitely stay far away from Jekka in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we'll go through the chat here real quick. We got about 40 people in here, and then we'll go through the fights. There's been a lot of crazy fights, a lot of switching around, all that stuff. So we'll go through all that. Jumbo Loco, what's up, man? He said, sorry I missed last week. Getting a new job, gonna make some money on the side on Saturday, so I'm back. Let's go. Appreciate you coming out. We got Riding High. What's up, man? Bro, a big insect just
I saw
under
that,
the
bro.
box.
I saw it. I peeped it. I was like, did anyone see that? But yeah, I saw it.
Oh, dang, I didn't see that. Better go check that out. That might be
it was a lizard or something.
You get lizards out there in Texas?
Yeah, dog.
That's awesome.
They're out there.
But let's see. All right, well, let's go through the fights. The first fight here we got, it's going to be I'm going to say Xiao versus Chang Ho Lee. Who do you like here? Any bets that you like? What do you think about this fight?
I think so. I watched some of Long Zhao's fights, and it's still early. I don't have any bets on this one, but I watched some of Long Zhao's fights, especially the last one versus Christian Quinones. I think he was trying to get the wrestling off, and I think the movement of Christian Quinones was too much for him. I don't think his opponent Chang Ho Lee presents that same movement, so that might create more opportunities for him, his striking to open up, which could create more opportunities to wrestle, which I think he would have an advantage here. I've seen, Chang Ho Lee in some spots on the ground. He's good on top, but he could get out wrestled in some of the fights. Go back. He did have a loss on his record a few fights ago. Let's see, to obviously, pardon me for a second here. I'm going to have to look it up because I don't know any of these names, right?
There's a lot of newer guys, too, I had to look up, too.
Yeah, I'm going to be 100% honest with you because these guys are, a little bit newer. They're road to UFC guys. So he had fought it was not Christian Quinones. I'm talking about Chang Ho Lee here. He fought Sim K Zeong in Brave CF 58. And Sim Zeong had some good success in the grappling. That guy's 6-1, 26 years old. So we don't know a lot about him himself. But his next 3 wins are via ground and pound versus, guys whose records look good on paper. 11-1 on Rana Singh, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we go and look at Rana Singh's record, obviously we know what I'm going to say. It's all,
Yeah.
We just don't know really much about the level of competition. So I don't have a great read on this one. I'm not even going to make a strong pick. I think Chang Ho Lee's got good striking, but I don't think he has the same movement, like I said, as Christian Quinones. So I think this is going to be a close split. Give me Long Zhao. I think he's going to have some submission ability, possible submission upside in this fight. He's lost also himself 8 times in his career, a lot earlier, and he's been subbed himself, been finished himself. So I understand if you want to take the stab on Chang Ho Lee. He's 30 years old. He's not the worst fighter in the world, but I think the younger prospect in Long Zhao has the opportunity to win this fight. He bounced back. I actually liked his opponents on the road to UFC. Shohei Knows wasn't that bad. He went to a good split decision with him, and that was a good fight. And also his next fight, they were both really close. I think people are underestimating him maybe because of that. I don't have like I said, not a strong read for me, but I'll lean Long Zhao.
Right on. Yeah, this is going to be I'm right with you. Like, this is going to be an interesting fight. Like, I haven't watched any of the road to UFC because, it's comes on at like 2:00 or whatever, and I'm not going to stay up and watch it, unfortunately. But I watched some of these guys' fights, just a few of them. Yeah, like you said with like Long Xiao, he's a good grappler. I think he's got the better grappling in this fight, maybe the better wrestling too. I wouldn't striking, I wouldn't say it's awful, but I do give that to Lee. Lee has the better striking. I think Lee's well-rounded too. Takedown defense isn't amazing. It's a little bit worrisome, but he does have a good get-up game, good submission defense. Doesn't put himself in some bad spots. So I just think this is going to be a close fight, and I'm just going to go with the better striker. I'm just going to go with Lee. I think this is going to be a coin flip fight. So maybe if you do want to degen bet this, bet the fighter that's plus money, because I do think it's going to go to decision probably, and you're just going to hope for the best. And you'd rather be on the plus money ticket at least. So I'm going to go with Lee. Not super confident though. I'll say by decision. I do think he's got some upside for a KO, but let's see. Long Xiao he's been knocked out 3 times in his career, but he's got 34, 35 fights in his career. So looking at it that way, it's not too bad. And I don't think Lee's ever been finished. I think his only loss has been by decision. So we'll see what happens here. So give me Lee by decision. I'm not sure if I'll bet this fight, but like I said, if I do, it'll probably whoever is plus money if you're going to do it. So I think that's the way to go.
I like the experience. The only reason I'll lean Xiao is because the experience. A lot of those fights that he did lose were when he was like 22, 23 years old, which means he could have made a lot of improvements in that time, which I think he has. The fight versus Christian Quinones was a tough step up. Quinones hasn't been the best at the UFC level, but on the other hand, Chang hasn't fought the UFC level competition either yet. But I do agree with you. I think he does have slick striking on the feet. I think he could get off combinations. It's just, is he going to get taken down, and how long is he going to stay on his back for? That would worry me.
Yep. That's a good point. We'll find out. Let's see what we got in the chat here real quick, and then we'll go to the next one. We got BC Dave in here. What's up? He said, what's up, guys? Appreciate you coming out, BC Dave. Any action, Effie, my guy. What's up, man? UFC Saudi Arabia, aka UFC Huda Fook. Agreed. We got Raw Torque in here. What's up, guys? Appreciate you coming out as well. We got Alex in here. Parlay all the guys ending with V. That's always a good strategy, especially in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Russia. You might want to do it. Probably a good one, except Volkov. Yeah, you're gonna have to pick one. Let's see, Shara and Nazrat Locks or Nazrat. Yeah, we'll get to it, but there's already a different fight going on with Sharos, but we'll get to it. There will be blood. What's up? Appreciate you coming out as well. We got everybody coming out here, and we got Bo in here. What's up? The Asu fade is coming. Okay. I think Asu is good. If you're talking about Almabayev, I like him a lot.
Yeah, Almabayev's legit, man. He's got good wrestling. I think, a good step up for him is next for sure. He's gotta get a nice step up.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Jose Johnson's like the greatest fighter of all, but he's very tricky because he's very tall, he's very long. He does have good sweeps, as you saw.
That triangle choke.
I know.
Tight. I mean, I had submission at plus 2,600 or plus 2,500. I would.
Yeah, I thought that was in, but Asu's good, man. Like the good thing that I like about him though is he takes the fight where he needs to. If he knows he's the better striker, he's gonna strike. If he knows he's the better grappler, he's gonna grapple. Like he doesn't mess around trying to do something he shouldn't be doing. So I always like see that in the fighter, and it's good for betting too. So you could trust him at least.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do nothing stupid, right?
Exactly.
Might put himself in a triangle, but he'll get out of it.
But hey, he'll get out of it. Next fight here we got is going to be Magomed Gadzhiyasulv versus Brendan Ribeiro. I'll go ahead and go first here. Yeah, this is going to be a fun fight for however long it lasts, if you want to say. But Magomed's making his UFC debut. He's pretty well rounded. He's got good striking. He's got good grappling, good wrestling. He's good everywhere. He's good power. He's dangerous too. He hasn't fought. He's fought 8 times. He's undefeated. I think he's got about 5 finishes out of the 8. So he's a good finisher. He hasn't been finished yet. Ribeiro, we saw him a couple times, once in the Dana White Contender Series, and then against who's that guy? I forgot. Ming Zing or something like that.
Yeah, that dude is a tank.
Yeah. But Ribeiro, I mean, he's he's a little tank too, but he's a good striker. He's got power in his hands too. He can grapple, but he's more so a striker. He can get hit a lot. He's been knocked out a pretty decent amount of times. And he pushes forward. He goes for brawls. Like, he's just a brawler. He wants to brawl it out. So, like I said, I think this fight's not going to go over 1.5. I think that could be a good parlay piece. I think one of these guys is going to get a finish one way or another. But I'm just going to go with Magomed. He's just more well-rounded. I like his striking. I think it's a little bit more technical than Bredson, but maybe Bredson has a little bit more power. But the ground game for Magomed is night and day. I think if he can get this fight to the ground, he can eventually maybe even get a submission, and then just wear him out a little bit. So, and also Ribeiro's been knocked out in, like, I think the last 3 times. His last 3 losses have been by knockouts, all in the first round. So I think this fight's not even probably going to make round 2. So give me Magomed. I'll say by first round knockout, but it wouldn't shock me if it's like a club and sub, or maybe even just a submission if he gets a takedown. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not really impressed with this guy. His wins are over guys who are 0-0, a unanimous decision win in his debut, 0-2, 1-2, 0-3, 0-0, a win that isn't even a win that isn't
eligible
eligible on his record. I mean, this gotta scream just something to me. Then he fights in Eagle FC versus a guy who's 2-1. Fights Muhammad Saeed Malim, where he was gassing pretty bad in that fight. He got some okay, wrestling off, but I don't think he has the power that a guy like Meng Yang Zing has. I know Bredson Ribeiro's been KO'd a few times, but let's go to the Jose Medina fight on Contender Series where Magomed Gadzhiyasulv, he's a minus 850 favorite, where people are parlaying this guy to get the job done. And he takes this guy, Jose Medina, who's, let's be honest, he's a nobody, all the way to a distance. Say what you want about Bredson Ribeiro. He has been finished. Like, if he comes out here and he gets knocked out in the first round, runs into a big punch, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think he could pressure Gadzhiyasulv on the feet, and I don't think Gadzhiyasulv really likes to get hit. I think a guy with the power like Ribeiro could give him some trouble. I think Ribeiro, he comes out crazy in the first round. He's got a bunch of first-round finishes. Go back to his Contender Series win versus Bruno Lopez, a guy who was 11-0, and say what you want about that, but he had a first-round KO where he was a huge underdog just like this, and people were sleeping on him. He gets the job done. So he actually covered his price, whereas Gadzhiyasulv at the minus number definitely didn't cover his price, in my opinion, versus Jose Medina, and he was getting hit in that fight. Now, also, I do want to say, everybody, I do think this fight doesn't go the distance. But I don't think knockout is the only way it doesn't go the distance. I think these guys could get into the grappling. I think, what's his name? Bredson Ribeiro's been submitted a few times. I think this guy's going to lift the tape. But he's also a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he does have dangerous submissions. Let's go look at his record. Mm-hmm. I know the last 3 wins, ground and pound KOs, but he has guillotine chokes all over his record, and that's one of his best submissions. Sometimes, yes, when he does go for this choke, he does give up position, but he can get it tight. And he has a big reach advantage here, which is, yes, good for the striking and good for the, submissions as well. He's got more experience. Say what you want. He's lost a bunch of times. He's still a young fighter. He has the more experience versus, guys I feel with actual pulse, whereas this guy is, fighting guys with ineligible records. I don't think he has the power like a guy like Meng Yang Zhang. I think first round, this guy is super dangerous as well. So I think he could get a guillotine choke or a knockout win. I think the numbers on the choke, people are all expecting this fight to end via KO. I think Gadzhiyasulv could get him on the ground and possibly submit him because we've seen those weaknesses. And I also think Bredson Ribeiro, especially if he hurts him and Magomed forces a shot, that guy Medina was stuffing shots. He could have got the neck. And I think that's there is going to be at least one point in this fight where this guy has the neck, and you're going to say maybe Gadzhiyasulv passes the guard, maybe he gets out of it, but I just don't know because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen people really attacking the subs. So yeah, the Russian dude not finishing that bum. I agree 100%, my man.
Yep.
And I'll have to take Bredson Ribeiro here, if anything. And I think the fight I think the fight can end a few different ways.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I said I like the under 1.5 the most. I don't want to pick a side. Obviously, plus money always looks great, but I'm just not sold on Ribeiro yet. He's just he's not technical, but he does have power and he's just a little chinny as of late. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not running to the book to bet Magomed by money line or anything like that. But I do like the sub look angle. Actually, I don't know what the odds are for that. Even if it's just fight ends by sub.
Yeah,
What's that?
yeah. I like the Bredson Ribeiro by sub, but I understand the look on that. I just actually think this guy's jiu-jitsu isn't that bad. I know he's been finished a few times, but this guy, man, Gadzhiyasulv, he's I could be completely wrong on him. He could easily get the job done here, and I see some talent out of him. But as of right now, he is not proving me anything to be a minus 300.
Yeah, I think they're giving him a kind of I don't like a cakewalk, if you want to say, or a layup, because
we've seen it though. We've seen it where they give him a layup, and
sometimes they brick it.
Exactly.
We got Johnny Newquist in the house with a $10 sponsored donation. What's up, Johnny? Appreciate it as always. Who gets a first round sub? Who do you think?
Bredson Ribeiro, my dude. I think
we just talked about it. Yeah,
guillotine choke in round 1, and he finishes via submission.
I like it. I think Magomed can get a submission in round 1 too. Maybe like a club and sub. Let me look up there's not really a lot
that
of
could be a good look. He's been submitted a couple of times. My thing is with that is they might just knock him the hell out at that point. So
I'm trying to think of some other people up top the card. It's mainly like a striker card in a way.
Man. I'll have to think about it, but
maybe Renat might be a sneaky sub.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen Dalby in some bad positions, but he gets out of them.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be an early like sub 1 or 2 Renat, I would say.
He's got he hurt Kevin Lee bad before that.
Yeah.
Choke. That was vicious, bro.
Whew. Yeah, that was nasty.
Whew.
He was done.
That Kevin Lee there. Oh God, rip that ticket.
I don't know what happened to Kevin Lee and why he came back, but maybe
when he came in with the knee braces, I might have ripped a little part of the ticket just to get it ready, bro.
Just to get it ready,
That was it, bro. That was it.
That's true.
The death of Kevin Lee.
Whenever you see the knee braces, you're like, well, either they're ready for wrestling or there's something wrong right away. All right. Next one we're going to do is Moon Gafurov versus Kung Ho Kang. Who do you like here?
This is a banger, bro. I actually think, both these guys have been historically durable. I find it kind of interesting that Gafurov is being priced so low for the KO. When the only KO on this guy Kang's records early in his career, guess how, bro?
Was it like a soccer kick or something?
Soccer kick.
Yeah.
KO, bro. Imagine being in a fight and some dude just comes up and just
kind of like Roundtree did that a little while back against what's his name? Yeah.
Oh, it was vicious, man. But I wonder if it was that. I didn't actually see the KO, but I thought that was interesting. But Gafurov is explosive. He's had Castaneda hurt. He's gotten the knockouts on the LFA scene. Actually, one of the only guys I know that's got a few knockouts via spinning wheel kick. But we've seen the weaknesses in the game, and I don't think I could trust him here at the chalk, to be honest with you, just because he flubbed against, Chad and Helliger on Contender Series. Then he comes up against John Castaneda in a fight that was winnable for him, and he didn't get the job done. Kang, I like because he doesn't really make the mistakes, right? He's very good at not overextending ever, and he's got a good jiu-jitsu game to fall back on. I've seen, this guy Gafurov give up positions, give up the back to John Castaneda, who is good, great pressure, but I don't think has the grappling acumen as a black belt like Kang. And I don't think Kang is necessarily going to actively look to take it to the ground, but I think he could hurt Gafurov, force Gafurov to shoot. This should be a barn burner, man. I think fight doesn't go the distance, actually. Could be a good play, a sneaky play, just because I think Kang could finish him. We've seen Gafurov, while he is durable, hasn't been knocked out. He's been club and sub submitted. He's been in sketchy spots as well. So it's priced at plus 135. I think Gafurov could knock him out on the feet with the power. And I think this is going to be a 15-minute striking battle with the grappling mixed in. I think there's going to be spots where submissions could come into play on the Kang side. But I think either guy is live for a knockout here. So I like fight doesn't go the distance here. If I have to pick a side, I wanted to lean Kang, but I want to also mention that this guy is like one of only 2 Tajikistan fighters, or 3 Tajikistan.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really going to give him 3 losses in the UFC and ship this guy out in Abu Dhabi? I don't know. I have a sketchy feeling about this one. I feel like this is going to be one of those ones, Johnny, where we say at the end of the fight, it was Kang who won, but they give it to Gafurov on 30-27. Both guys get a split somehow.
I could totally see that. Yeah, I agree with what you said. Gafurov is a good wrestler. He's got pretty good striking with good power. He does go for takedowns a lot, but he can be a little hittable on the feet. He seems to be a little finish dependent. Like he doesn't, if the fight does go to decision, he doesn't win a lot of them. I think he's lost 5 out of his 6 losses have come by decision. So he needs like finishes to win the fight. He just doesn't really do it for the judges, if you want to say. And Kang, he's well-rounded, veteran, solid striking. He stays at range very well. I wouldn't say he's the most powerful striker or anything like that, but he can mix in some wrestling, which he probably won't this fight. He'll probably want to keep on the feet, stay at range, and try to outpoint him. But I think this fight does go to decision. I'll be on the opposite end. I can see some Gafurov being successful early and maybe Kang later, and I think it's going to be a very close fight, like you said. But I'm going to go with Kang. I think he can get this one done. I'm just not super sold, like you said, on Gafurov yet. I need to see more. I've seen some good from Kang. I've also seen some bad. The Ronnie Yaya fight was pretty bad, but I think that might have been a fight where he came back and he didn't fight for a while, maybe. It was like a 2-year layoff between that fight. So maybe he had a little bit of
whipping Ronnie Yaya. And then he just got his back.
And then every time he just like kept getting taken down and then controlled for the rest of the rounds. Like, what are you doing, dude? But I think this fight will be close again. And I'm just gonna go with the dog. I'd rather have the dog in a very close fight. I think I think he's the more technical striker, maybe not the more explosive striker, but Kang's durable. He's only been knocked out once, like you said, and it was a soccer kick. So give me Kang. I wouldn't mind people putting some money on him. I think he wins one round. Maybe the +3.5 spread is a good safe bet. And if you think Gafurov can get a finish, then maybe just bet a money line just in case. But like I said, he's been decision 5 times? Yeah, 5 times or 6 times, and he's lost 5 of them. So
maybe look for the Kang finish only as well. I think that could be a sneaky bet.
I like that. I'll have to check that one out. Let's see what everyone else says here. Gafurov is awful, but hard to back Kang when he lost to Ronnie. Yeah. Like I said, that was a 2-year layoff for Kang, so I'll give him this much of wiggle room there. But
and let's be fair, bro. Ronnie Yaya, for what it's worth, he might be trash on the feet, but if you let him get to the ground, he's good.
He's very good on the ground, and he's like so small, but I bet you he feels like 200 pounds on top because he's got very good top control when he's on top too. So Saudi judging could definitely be biased. Oh, for sure, dude.
I mean, who are the judges though? Like, we don't really know. It could be
that's
the same
true.
Guys is over here, and then it's still corrupt anyway, right?
But you know, they're gonna go out, the night before, have some drinks on the Saudi princes, and they'll be like, hey, if you be nice to this fighter, and I'll give you something. I'll give you a Rolex or something.
Wink, wink.
We got CJ, UFC picks. What's up, man? So what's up? Best capper in the showbiz. You talking about JB, Jewish Better? There he is.
My man right there, bro. My man right there.
Oh,
Johnny K.
I have fun. Let's put it that way.
Game for the Russians, same as Abu Dhabi. That's an interesting narrative, but I don't buy into those, man. I don't buy.
Yeah, I try not to. You always have that in the back of your head, but you're like, man, I hope they don't. One of those things.
When they go to Canada next time, every Canadian fighter is gonna win, and everyone's gonna fade them because of what happened last time. So.
We got Blazing in here. What's up, Blazing? It said pulled out. Shara's opponent pulled out now. Antonio's fighting. Yep. I mean, I don't know now. I'll have to go back but like Trocoli is 6'5" with like an 82-inch reach. Like he's gonna be much bigger than Shara, so it might be a little bit trickier. But I do think Shara still wins, though. But I was really high on him in this fight against Lutterback, whatever. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Next
such
fight,
short notice, bro. Like we'll get to that
true.
one.
Yeah, and I bet is Trocoli like fighting around the world because like I swear he's like going everywhere now. He's
He
like
was in
following the
Brazil last
UFC.
week.
Yeah, he's like following the UFC. Like, do you need me? I'm gonna follow you if you need me. But next fight here we got it's gonna be Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Nicholas Dalby, and this is a very interesting fight. Let me find my little notes here. Rinat, very good wrestler. You know, he's got very good takedowns. He's kind of a chain wrestler. So he doesn't really have the greatest top control. He does let his opponents back up, but he takes them right back down. As we saw in the Kevin Lee fight, he does have power in his hands, quick straights right down the middle. His striking, though, I would rate it, decent. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but he's got power. The longer the fight goes, I will say he does seem to look like gas out a little bit. I know in the Zaleski fight, he looked good in the first 2 rounds, and then in round 3 he looked a little gas. I know he got hurt to the body in that round 2 and he almost got finished, but it's not the greatest of looks, but he's a very good fighter though. And Dalby, again, veteran guy, well-rounded. He's not amazing anywhere except cardio and durability, but he's good everywhere. He's got solid striking, solid power, solid grappling, anything you could think of. He's solid everywhere. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like I think this again. I'm going to say this fight I think goes to decision. Both guys are durable. It's just, do I think Renat's going to finish the fight? Like, do I think he's going to be good enough to keep up the pace? Because Dalby's going to stay right in his face. He's going to be throwing punches whether he gets taken down or not. And Dalby has good get up game if he gets taken down. We've seen him in some bad positions, but I just don't know if Renat's the good enough grappler to get a submission on the ground too. So, like, just for shits and giggles, like, I know the better fighter on paper is probably Rinat, but you just can't look past, like, the pressure, the pace, the cardio, the durability of Dalby, and I think he's very live in round 3, and he could potentially sneak in round 2. So, I'm going to roll the dice with Dalby. I mean, it's probably going to blow up in my face, but I like the Dalby round 3 prop, like 100%. It's like plus 2,500. Like, you got to throw a little bit on it because we've seen Rinat slow down. He got 10-8 in his last fight against Zaleski. And I think he can potentially get finished in this round if he's not careful with Dalby again, because Dalby's the king of that. So I'm just going to go with Dalby by decision. Maybe he can get a late finish, but it's going to be a fun fight. I always like watching Dalby fights. So what do you like in this one?
Yeah, it could be like the round 3 decision, but I also think, if anything, if he's going to gas, he could even finish in round 2. We saw it happen at Bonfim. I think Fakhretdinov, let me make a case for him at least. He's obviously the favorite, right? But I think he's going to get takedowns in this fight. Mm-hmm. And I've seen Dalby, he can get back to his feet, but he will leave openings to get his guard passed. He does, stay a little flat on his back sometimes. And in the process of getting up, he could give it back. I think he's going to get mat returned almost every time he gets back up this fight, which could be a little frustrating. But I will say the striking for Rinat isn't my favorite. He can strike, but he's not the best in my opinion. And it could be a little sloppy to set up those takedowns. So sometimes he'll telegraph the takedown a little bit, and then he gets stuff. We've seen it happen in the Andreas Michailidis fight, which was the reason, I had faded him the last time out. Because the guy doesn't have the best wins on his record. Every pre-UFC win is fraudulent. Then he beats Eric Spicely. I don't care about that. Comes into the UFC and takes Andreas Michailidis to a decision. He had the fight, with Kevin Lee, obviously, and Brian Battle. Apparently, Brian Battle was really sick in that fight. So I said, you know what? I looked at the tape on Aliskerov dos Santos. Well, I think actually does a lot of things right. The way he fights the hands is something that was giving Rinat a lot of trouble. He had a lot of good takedown defense there. Thing with Dalby is I can't bet against him. Not in this spot. Not as an underdog again. He's came through 4 times in a row as an underdog. Every time you've cashed on him. It's going to probably make people want to go back to the window, especially if they had Rinat last time out. Probably got a sour taste in their mouth. Yeah, they got their money back.
Yep.
But, man, it was super greasy, super sweaty.
There could have been a couple times that the ref could have stopped that fight, though.
Right. But he's relentless with the pressure. He does have the submissions, as we saw in the Kevin Lee fight. He hurt Kevin Lee on the feet. But that I could also attribute to Kevin Lee just being washed, not being in the game anymore. He literally retired right after that.
Yep.
So how much was his head really?
And he had the knee. He had the knee braces on.
Yeah, dude, that was it. I ripped that ticket up right away. I was so pissed, man. I'm like, Kevin Lee, you did it to me again. But I just love to fade this guy Renat, and I thought I was gonna get my money on like a plus 400. I think I got a wide price actually on. He was like plus 310, but I even got a better price on Zaleski dos Santos, and I was praying for the cash there, man. I thought he had him hurt so bad in round 3 with that body shot. Yeah. I think Dalby is live to do the same. I think if you're going to take a look in this fight, it's Dalby just because of the cardio. He's not going to die. But I think the problem for him here is going to be those wrist rides, going to be those rear body locks. I think once he does get back up, he's probably just going to get put down again. But it will be interesting to see how Renat sets up the grappling exchange. He's got to get into those exchanges first, right? And this is going to be another fight like Gabriel Bonfim, where I think, Dalby's super physical as well. We saw he was pushing Bonfim up against the fence. So
he's a big dude. He's a big welterweight. He's not small.
It might not be the easiest to hold him down. And then in round 2, he starts to get back up and he puts the pressure on Bonfim, finishes him. We could attribute that to a lot of things, nerves, a big step up in competition. Obviously, Bonfim was a big, favorite there, but he shouldn't have been. And I think that could be an instance here. So, long story short, I think Renat Fakhretdinov is going to use his wrestling, going to use the wrist rides, going to use the control to win the fight. But I don't think he's the most positionally dominant fighter. And when I say that, yes, he's very controlling, but he's not putting in hooks. He's letting guys get back to the feet, and he's putting them back down, which could drain Dalby as well. But we've seen the cardio actually improve Dalby. He's improved actually every fight. And I expect to see the weird breathing technique, bro.
Dude, I thought he was gassing like maybe 4 fights ago. Like you heard him breathing on TV. And I'm like, he's gassing. I'm like, no, he's getting
he's
better.
Back, baby. That's what it was. And I think overall, I think Renat gets it done. But for me, from a betting standpoint, it's going to be a dollar pass on a fight that I think probably goes to decision.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like, I just don't like. Like for my picks, I like to bet my picks. Like I don't like to do opposites. Like if I pick Renat, let's say I think Renat's going to win, but I'm going to bet Dalby. Like I just don't roll like that. But I do think the betting side is Dalby here. Like there's just so much value. Like round 3, like I said, 2,500 or more.
Yeah, I mean, there's the thing is I don't always get the fight right anyway. So even though I don't think
especially this year, not a lot of people are getting a lot of fights right.
Exactly, and you're gonna give me now a plus 260 on a guy who's cashed for a ridiculous
He's almost
amount.
He's like almost plus 300, and like at that point, it's like you just gotta throw a flyer. He's like plus 285.
Yeah, and Renat just underperformed at that price range while Dalby's been crushing it. But who knows how can he keep that up? It's gonna be a hard. He's going to win 5 times in a row, maybe. So I like the bet here on your end.
Right on. See, Bo said Dalby got out-grappled and dropped by Tim Means. I mean, it happens. But also, I mean,
look what
happened in the last fight. Renat passed the victory. It's obvious, but Zaleski gave him trouble in the 3rd, and Dalby's never going to stop. So I'm taking the dog. Yep. That's where I'm at. I mean, I think Renat's the better fighter. It's just I think at this point, like we've seen Dalby do this time and time and time again. It's crazy, and we've seen just Renat, kind of slow down a little bit in some of his fights. Yeah, he's getting those takedowns. He's gonna need to get takedowns because Dalby's gonna stay in his face. He's gonna strike with him. He's gonna push him back. So it's gonna be fun. Like this is gonna be a good fight. Actually, I'm really looking forward to it. I want someone who's
I'm here,
fighting.
Brother. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. It
started raining, so I'm going to bring my
Oh, you're good. Take your time. I'm just going through the chat real quick, so you're good.
Go for it.
Zaleski is an elite counter grappler, though. Yes, he is. I'll take fight to end in round 3 or decision prop. I like that. I think this fight does go to round 3 for sure, though. Over 1.5, I think, is safe, too, if you want to do some of those, like, super safe parlays. Like, I kind of like doing those, so I got the over 1.5. I'll say that. I think it does go over. We got real fight picks in here. Daddy is here. The religious guy is making some sense. There you go. You got Evan in here. What's up? I'm looking at Renat Dalby. Fight starts round 3 plus Haqparast money line minus 111. I like that.
I will say Renat is dangerous early, and we've been talking about this fight going to decision. That's just to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
He's dangerous early. He did hurt Zaleski early, if I'm not mistaken, in that fight, from what I remember.
Yeah,
And
I think he did.
Yeah, 100% he hurt him.
Yeah,
and
he did.
Also
he did.
rocked Kevin Lee, hurt him. He's dangerous in the beginning of the fight. He's super explosive. The thing is, Dalby's going to take over late. So if you think this fight gets to round 3, I think you're better off, honestly, just taking the flyer on Nicholas Dalby, like my man said.
Yeah, there you go.
My opinion.
I was gonna say the Haqparast fight. I like the over. If you just, I think that fight's gonna be close too, but we'll get there.
Really, Dalby's never been finished either, right?
He's been finished like once in his career.
Never KO.
There wasn't no contest. It was Jesse Ronson.
The choke, right?
So that was a no contest.
It's a tough look.
And then I think like that was it. That was his only finish, and it was a no contest. So this dude's durable as shit, dude. So that's why I like the over. So that's why I'm going with it. Let's see. We'll go with the next fight. Let me get to it. Get out of here. Muhammad Naimov versus Felipe Lima. Is it your turn? Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really got much on this one. I got to watch more of Felipe Lima, but I will say from this film I did, I think he's good. I think he's got submission threats. I think he's a legitimate stand-up fighter. If this fight wasn't on short notice, I'm going to do more research, but I think I like the Lima side here. I think people are going to automatically look toward Naimov. But there's a reason this fight's on short notice and the line is still so close, because Lima is talented. I think he's got skills. I'm going to have to do more research before I feel comfortable giving out any more information on this one. I need to watch more film on it. I need to just dive into it more because, as you know, it was put on a lot of fights jumbling up, right?
True.
I wanted to get the research done for every single one. And this is one I'm going to come into this week looking. Early look. I think it's going to be Lima or pass for me from the small amount of film that I did.
Yeah, I know that when the line dropped, like Lima was like plus 200 or like minus or plus 250, and like it got like steamed. It got steamed, but like I'm not saying Naimov is amazing. Like he grabs fences, he kicks crotches, like he needs them. Like so that's always a little thing. Like the Wood fight, if you go back and watch that, like he should have got at least 1 point deducted in that fight. Like it was insane, but he still got that fight. He still won it, if you want to say. But he's he's pretty well rounded. Good, he's got a good wrestling, decent striking. He does have power. Can leave himself open to some counter shots. But Lima, like I did a little bit of research with him, not as much. Like you said, I didn't do too much because all these fights are changing by the day, it seems like. But he's making his UFC debut on short notice. He is pretty well rounded. He's got good wrestling and good striking. The thing about it with me, though, is he is a bantamweight. And this fight's going to be at 145. He's going to be very, very small compared to Naimov. Now, so Lima's going to have to stay on the outside because I think if he does get taken down, I think Naimov can keep him down there just because he's just going to be a little bit too small. And he's going to get out muscled and stuff like that. So, I mean, whoever got plus 250 or 200 on Lima, I think that's a good bet. But now that it's a pick'em, you almost want to go the Naimov side just because of the short notice. He's going to be the bigger fighter. I do think he can get those takedowns. And I think he might have the better, like, just because of the short notice, he might have the better cardio as well. So the longer this fight goes, I mean, we saw it in the fight. Who was it? It was Vinicius and what was that guy's name? It was Vinicius. Yeah, this fight kind of reminds me of that in a little bit. Like they're like a smaller guys taking this fight on short notice against someone. Like I think Lima might look good in the first round, like really good. And people are gonna be like, "Shit, I made the wrong decision." But I think as the fight goes on, I think he's gonna start to fade a little bit just because of the short notice. And I think the strength that Naimov can have, push him up against the cage, maybe get some takedowns, wear him out a little bit. And I think this fight goes to decision. I think Lima's pretty tough. He's durable. He's Brazilian. He's only been finished or not. Yeah, he's been finished once, and it was by submission. And it was his first fight in his career. So both these guys are going to be there, I think. So give me Naimov. And at the price that it is now, I think it's a good look. I think it's minus 125. Now, like I said, if you got Lima at plus 250, that was the play. Because I do think this fight will play out a little bit closer than, but you rather have the plus 250 ticket on the underdog like that. So let's see.
Man.
Let's see. Nice bet. Both guys are durable. Dixon Sider, what's up, man? He said, wait, Cody's Jewish now? Yeah, he changed. He converted over to being a Jew now.
Judaism.
Judaism, is that what you call it? And then it's got beard, got bigger beard. Yeah, he's rocking it.
Blood money Jew bets.
Blood money Jew bets. There we go. If you're betting Dalby, might as well live bet. That's true. You can also do it after round 1. That's a good play. I like that. Felipe is awesome. Underdog is good everywhere. Looked good in Octagon. Yeah, I think he's good. I don't know. I think he's just going to be a little too small on the short notice. Worries me a little bit there. Major potential. Bantamweight could be. I think
he's a midget.
Yeah, he's going to be undersized for sure. Like 3 inches at least in height. And I don't even know the reach, but it's going to probably be shorter too. So small bet. Like you said, if you got him at plus 200, that's the way to go. I like Lima not having to cut as much here, but he will be smaller after they hydrate. 100%. Johnny, my life is in shambles right now because my childhood hero, Justin Timberlake, was arrested yesterday for DUI. That sucks, man. People be wild in the Hamptons, man. That's all I got to say.
Bringing sexy back.
He was trying to bring sexy back, but he got DUI'd.
Right. On the way. Bloody Jew money bets.
Bloody Jew money bets. Jew bloody money bets. There you go.
Coming for all the coin.
There you go.
Coming for all of it.
All right. Next one is going to be Nasrat Haqparast versus Jared Gordon. I think it's my turn here.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
This fight's going to be close because both these guys are kind of the same style of fighter. I mean, maybe you give Haqparast a little bit more technical striking, but like both guys are durable. Both guys want to come out and strike. Maybe Gordon has the wrestling upside a little bit, but both guys throw tons of volume. But I'm going to go with Nasrat here. I just think he is the younger fighter. I think he throws a little bit more volume. I think he's going to be there in rounds 2 and 3 more so than Gordon. Gordon's going to look good early, and I think he kind of fades. Like you saw it in the Patty fight. Arguably, he won that fight, obviously, but he did slow down a shit ton in the 3rd round, and Haqparast is always there every round throwing punches, and both guys, like I said, are durable. I love the over in this fight. It's hard to pick a side. It's hard to lay the minus 250 chalk on Nasrat here too, and I think it's going to be a close decision, 29-28. But I do think he is just slightly better, younger, and he'll be there in the later rounds. So give me Nasrat to win. Like I said, by decision. I don't think there's going to be a finish. I think both guys are super durable, and they're not really that dangerous. So,
bro, you know how many fucking people, can I curse or no?
Oh, yeah, you can. Go ahead. I do it all the time.
How many people I this week have heard say Jared Gooden instead of Jared Gordon?
It's
Jared Gordon.
Did I say Gooden?
No, you didn't. No, you're good. You're good. You're one of the very few that didn't say Jared Gooden, because every YouTube video that I listened to this week, bro, was literally Jared Gooden. He's going to get the job done, I think. No.
Two completely different fighters.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Completely irrelevant, but similar names, I guess. And yeah, I'm a little more bullish than you, to be honest. And maybe I am insane for it. I don't know if I'll actually be betting Nasrat straight, but I think he gets the knockout here. We've seen Jared Gordon not as of recently, but I just don't think he's fought in the right comp. And he could be tricky. He could mix in the wrestling, but we've seen Nasrat's takedown defense improve. He works with Faraz Zahabi. And he's actually fighting twice on this card. Because this is Calvin Gastelum 2.0, bro.
It is.
I think he's gonna win this fight. Then he's gonna have to go out there and he's gonna have to fight D-Rod later. I don't know how he's gonna do it, bro. But if this man's got enough balls to fight 2 times in one night, I gotta think he's gonna at least be able to win the first fight. Especially, he's a 185er. Somehow he cuts down to 155.
It's wild. He
Crazy
rehydrates
stuff.
like literally after a fight. It's great.
And then he's gonna eat in the back. He's gonna eat a bunch of like tuna sandwiches or something, bro. And he's gonna come out. It's Kelvin Gat. I'm convinced they're the same person. No, in all seriousness, bro, I think Nasrat Haqparast, if he's able to avoid the ground game of Jared Gooden, is gonna be incredibly quick to the punch. And I know we saw him lose against Bobby Green in a 3-round fight where Bobby Green absolutely whooped him. But other than that, he's fought very good. Obviously, Landon Quinones, made the fight a little bit closer than the odds had suggested. But I think we don't have to pay as much here versus a guy with less durability, less speed, I think, on the feet, less overall cardio as well. I think the later this fight goes, we could even see a round 2 or 3 finish for Nasrat Haqparast. I think we could see, the chin of Gordon come back. It's only plus 250, I think I saw the odds are. Obviously, this fight's favored to go to decision. But I think Nasrat could have his moments, especially with the combos, the fluidity that he presents in the hands. I think is going to give Gordon some problems, guys. Not Gooden, it's Gordon. So give me Nasrat Haqparast, Kelvin 2.0 to get it done.
I like it. Yeah, we're both on the same page there. Let's see. Honestly, I know Justin would never drink and drive. At the very worst, he faked failing the sobriety. That's awesome. And that's a good way to do it. Hey, bad press is good press. So if you get arrested, I mean, you're probably going to get a gold record at the very least, right? I like the fight ends in split. Just the patty fight, Gordo going to win by the slightest of margins, but the corrupt judge is going to give it to the local guys. Yeah, maybe. They're both bald. Gordon and Gooden, easy to mix up.
Hey,
I mean, yeah, I get it. I can't see color, so they both look the same to me. Does Nasrat have enough neck real estate to be choked? Good question. I don't think so. I don't think Gordon's going to come out there and looking to grapple either. Maybe wrestle and get some takedowns.
He should try.
He should.
He's going to get lit up on the feet if he doesn't.
I think it'll be a lot of pushing up against the cage. I don't think he's going to be able to get him down. If he does, like once or twice, tops. Some people call it tuna salad. Yeah, tuna and mayo sandwiches are pretty good. I will say. Kelvin hired his personal chef. A personal chef. No excuses this time. Nasrat is this week's Nate Maness. Don't bet the KO.
Okay. But Nate Maness was favored to get the KO minus 200.
He was.
So I don't, and everybody was betting him to get the finish. Everybody was betting the under 1.5. Whereas in this situation,
I bet the under 2.5. I was even trying to be safe and I still missed it.
Right. Exactly. So I don't think, I don't agree there. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, you'd rather want to bet the plus money on that for sure. And I could see it. I mean, Gordon is usually durable, but I mean, how many times has he been knocked out? Like at least 3 times?
And he's fighting guys like Joe Selecki. He ain't going to knock
4
you
times.
out. Chris Fishgold ain't going to knock you out. Pimblett's good. He could knock you out, but he made that fight a lot closer than it needed to be.
Yep.
And I think Nasrat's a better overall striker than Pimblett. So, yeah.
Let's see. His last knockout was in 2018 against Joaquin Silva. So it's been 6 years since he's been knocked out. Maybe his chin is better. Who knows? What's a 3-legger for overs? All right. Well, here's one. The Gordon over. I would say if we're looking at overs, maybe the Renat fight, and then also maybe the Kelvin fight. Those are my 3 I would do. Scotty Law, what's up, Scotty? Just checking in, Johnny kids softball tonight. We'll check out we appreciate you coming out, Scotty. Nate Maness was never knocking out Brick. He could have. Brick has like 6 knockouts. And Ulysses is the over 1.5 for Walker. Oezdemir, good. I keep looking at that and I want to play it. What do you think about that? The over 1.5 in the Walker fight.
That's a risky one.
I know it's risky, but I think it hits.
I want nothing to do with that.
I'm like Like that's one of the things I have an itchy trigger. I'm like, I don't know if I should do this or not.
I mean, when we think about it, bro, Vulcan's old, and Walker's dangerous. Even on the mat, he could be dangerous. Walker's been chinned, Lord, how many times?
True.
But I think
Vulcan's pretty durable. We just don't know what Johnny Walker is going to come to the fight. That's the problem.
I think it could be a slow point fight. I think it could go over 1.5, but I won't be betting my money on it. Just too much questions for me.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Let me get there.
I mean, 7 minutes with those guys. Whew, I'll be sweating.
I know. Speaking of that, it's Johnny Walker versus Volkan Oezdemir. Who do you like?
This is a tough one, bro. I guess I'm going to lean Volkan Oezdemir because of the durability, I guess, of Johnny Walker. And I don't feel good about it, bro, because I think this could be a fight where Johnny Walker keeps it at bay. He uses his reach. Volkan isn't quick enough to get to him, and Johnny Walker just outpoints him like he did to a few guys as of recently. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's made the change in his game from the early career where he was just looking for the knockout early, just looking for the wild exchange, and it was either he was going to get knocked out or get the knockout. But now we've seen he's capable of winning a decision, and I think this fight's possible to go to a decision, but I can't trust the chin of Johnny Walker. With no real confidence, give me Volkan Oezdemir, but I don't want anything to do with this fight.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm gonna just side with Johnny Walker. I think he's the more explosive guy. Yeah, I'm taking a bit of a risk with his chin, but he's the bigger guy. He's gonna have the reach. And Oezdemir, like, he's a good fighter. I'm not gonna badmouth him by any means when I say this, but like, he's just kind of slow. He's just kind of one-dimensional boxer. He's got good power, he's got good durability, but like Walker is just super athletic, super explosive. A flying knee can come out of nowhere, and or a spinning elbow, something like that. But you're just taking the risk. Like, is he going to get chinned? Because Volkan can land a good counter and knock him right out, and it's going to be game over. So, this fight can go 4 or 5 different ways. And like I said, I think the only play that I might do would be the over. But even that's risky, like you said, too. So picking a side here is tough. I'm just going to go, like I said, with the more explosive guy. This is going to be a striking fight. But Walker does that. We did see some, grappling from Walker, but I don't think he's going to be able to get Volkan down, though. It just have to be like a weird scramble, and maybe he takes the back standing or something like that and takes him down. But I just think Walker is just, like I said, more explosive. Just going to go with him. Hope for the best. I think this will be a fun fight for both guys, actually, and a good test.
We've seen, like, lately, too, bro, these guys, obviously they've been priced way different, but these guys with the bad chin, Dominic Reyes, he's got the worst chin ever.
True.
Nico Price, he's done. He's gonna
True.
And they come out and they don't get knocked out, and then it's like, oh, well, what was I betting that for? And that could be one of those situations as well.
Yep. Yeah, let me see the age for Volk. Is he 30? 34. Okay, so he's not too old. I thought he might have been like 35, 36.
And he slowed down over the last few years, so I think that could be,
Let me see.
He looked good in the Guskov fight, I will say that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say Guskov is very great. But...
Plus, I think Volkan Oezdemir trains with Khamzat Chimaev as well out there, if I'm not mistaken. Khamzat was supposed to be the main event on this card, so that could be something, they were trying to set up. But hopefully this time, if he gets concussed and the doctor comes in to ask him, he knows that he's in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Keep saying that before you walk out. Saudi Arabia.
Dude, I think Volkan Oezdemir should come out with "You're attacking my family."
That was so funny. Wasn't Walker like, what are you talking about?
You're attacking my family, bro.
Walker ends in split. That would be wild. I don't care who they give it to, but it's going to be a split. Persian parlay hits. Who's Persian on this card? I don't even know like what countries are like Persian technically.
Yeah, me either. I think maybe he's talking about Nasra. I don't know.
Okay, that could be Whittaker because he's going to beat their ass. We'll get there. We will get there. All right, next fight's going to be, we'll do the Shara Magomedov versus Antonio Trocoli fight. I believe it's my turn. I'm gonna go with Shara. No surprise here. This fight literally just got announced like right before we went live. I was very high on Shara against what's his name? I even forgot it. The other guy that he was supposed to fight, Lauterbach or whatever. But you know, Trocoli, like he's very tall. He's gonna be like 3 or 4 inches taller. Let me look exactly. He's gonna be 3 inches taller and have a like almost like an 8-inch reach advantage or something. It's something crazy because Trocoli is a light heavyweight, and I'm wondering if this fight's gonna be at catch weight or if it's gonna be at 205. I don't know. Like, there's just not a lot of information out there other than Shara's fighting Antonio Trocoli. So
he was supposed to fight Ikram though at 185.
He was supposed to fight Ikram. Was it last card?
Yeah,
or this card?
Like literally Tyra versus Pro.
Yeah, so like last card, and then now they're just bringing him in. So this card is insane with how much fights are flip flopping and stuff. So it's very hard for bets, but gonna go with Shara. I think he's the more technical striker, but it gives me just a little bit of pause now because like the length and just how big Trocoli is compared to what Lauterbach was, and Lauterbach's not really that big. So I still think Shara wins though, but I'm not gonna bet it. I'm sure I don't even know what the lines are. I'll try to look it up while you go. But who do you think is gonna win here? If you even have a play.
I don't think we got a line on this one yet.
I doubt it because, like I said, it just literally happened like right before we went live.
I could see Shara winning a decision. I know it sounds crazy, but Trocoli hasn't been finished but one time. Obviously, that guy probably is not as good as Shara Bullet.
Yeah.
The thing is with Trocoli, he's got submission attempts as well. Shara, the weaknesses I know about him are that he likes to play off of his back. He could get taken down, put on his back, get his guard passed. That worries me. But super early look, bro. I think Shara Bullet probably is going to finish him. Could be a decision, though. I'm going to have to look more into it.
Yeah, like I said, it's just unfortunate. Like I said, this literally was announced like probably 20 minutes before.
Get this guy a win, though. Get him an easy win. He's obviously.
I think they're really trying to. Like, I mean, who was he supposed to fight originally? Like, let me look. Eor Patoria?
Yeah, come on.
Pataria?
Come on.
I mean, they're trying to get this guy a fight at least, you know?
And Trocoli's going to take it. He's been looking for one.
Yeah, he's been looking for one the last like 4 cards. It's like he's like the guy like, I'm ready if you need me. I'm flying to wherever you guys are. Just call me.
He's just outside the PI with a little sign like outside the Apex. Just we'll fight for food. We'll fight for food.
All right, we'll move up to the next one. Let me find.
You know what? The one thing I will say, if I was this guy, I would just poke Shara one time in the one eye that I know he can't see out of, and then it's an easy one.
That's a bold strategy. And you know they're going to allow it because that's what they do.
He can't see anything. What if he can't see nothing? Then he's like, I still want to fight.
No, you can't, dude. You can't see. You can't even be like, how many do you see? He's going to be like, I literally see one because I have one eye.
Oh, man.
How many fingers am I? One. I can't double vision.
All right, he's good.
He's good. Kelvin, Jared Gordon, Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. Who do you like?
It's Nasrat. You mean Nasrat?
Oh, Nasrat. Sorry.
I think they're both the same person, bro. I think Kelvin Gastelum is gonna cook him on the feet. D-Rod's looked a little bit slower as of lately. Obviously, we know Kelvin Gastelum coming down to 170. He's trying to take it more serious. I'm gonna give him a pass for that last matchup because it's against Sean Brady, one of the best grapplers in the division. And 100%. I know he got knocked out by Bilal Muhammad. People sleep on this guy's grappling, and he was able to cook him up and down the octagon that night. Kelvin Gastelum just wasn't ready for the grappling. I think he's got an easier matchup. If in anything here, he'll get the takedowns. I don't think he needs to go for it, though. I think he keeps on the feet. Yes, D-Rod could be long range. He's very calm in the octagon. He's very good at seeing the punches come to him. But I think Gastelum at this point in his career, especially at 70, is just a little bit quicker to the punch. I think he packs some more power, and I think he has the better durability. I don't think I've ever seen the guy get knocked out, even in the Izzy fight. That might have took years off of his life, but it was a war. I still think he has more in the tank. And I think he has a win here. UFC, I think, likes him as well. He's, been in historical fights. He's been around the game, beating guys like Vitor Belfort, Tyron Woodley fight. He's been around the game, like I said, forever. I don't think that they want his 170 run where he's actually taking it serious to be a Sean Brady loss. Then I lost to Daniel Rodriguez. I think we get a third loss in a row for D-Rod. I think we see him probably pack his bags, and he's out of the UFC after this. So
Ooh.
I think Kelvin Gastelum is live here, and I actually think he gets the job done as well via knockout. I think both the Gastelum brothers finish big time with a knockout.
You mean the Gooden brothers?
We haven't seen. They're both staples in the UFC. But I think, it's been a while since either of us gotten that statement finish. And I think, a win versus Jared Gordon via finish and a win versus D-Rod via finish would be a great way for both these guys to, make another statement.
That's very true. Yeah, I'm on the Kelvin side as well. I just, like you said, I think the more technical guy might be Rodriguez. He's a very good boxer. He's got, the power really isn't there. But he's very technical. He's got pretty good takedown defense. But the thing about him though is like he's shown he's a little bit chinny as of late. He's been injured like numerous times as of late. He's getting a little older. I'm not saying he's super old, but he's like 37. But it feels like he's going on 40 though, and he slows down as the fight goes on. Like if you look back at the Neil Magny fight, like he's looking good in that fight until the third round hits and he just like falls off a cliff. And Gastelum, like he's gonna be there. Like you think Gastelum's 37. Like Gastelum's actually like, what is he, like 32? Something crazy? What is he?
And he's got he's got crazy amount of experience.
He's 32. He's fought the best of the best competition. Like he's super durable, like you said. He's got power. He can mix in some wrestling if need be. Probably doesn't need to. But like I said, he can be open for counters, obviously. So he's going to be, I think Daniel will be a little bit more technical with the boxing. But as the fight goes on, I think it's going to be a little bit sloppier. And I think that's when Kelvin can actually like go to work. And I think he can land the better shots, maybe mix in a takedown or even attempt to or whatever. And just basically just put a pace on Rodriguez, because I don't think he can go 3 rounds anymore without getting chinned, or maybe just even give up like he did against I think it was Magny. Didn't he get submitted by Magny?
Yeah, and Magny's great, especially if he gets on top of you, and especially in round 3. That's what Magny's
true. But I can see like Kelvin doing the same thing. Maybe not like the grappling part, but like just putting a pace on you.
He's got a few rear naked chokes on his record. Obviously they were way long ago. He's fighting now at a Fight Ready as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he's going to be working on the grappling a little bit. Fugit, one of his main training partners, got the win again last week. And of course, like I said, this guy's fighting 2 times in one night, Johnny. How badass do you have to be to get 2 fights in one night, bro? I got to take it.
He's wild. Hey, at least he's going to get double paid. So that's always a good thing. And if you can get 2 fight of the night bonuses, that's even better.
But they're literally the same person.
I won't be it's so close. I know every time. But yeah, I'm going to go with Kelvin. I'm just going to say by decision, but it wouldn't shock me if it's like a round 3 decision prop. I like that. If you want to, I don't even know what that would be. I'm going to look at it right now because I kind of like that. Let me see. Round 3, minus 125. So you can like cut it in half. Not bad. I would have hoping for plus money, but
yeah, I don't mind it. I think money line Gastelum, maybe even in parlay, might be the way to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. But that's a good point.
He's got that Mexican chin, though, bro. He just he don't go nowhere. He's got a blockhead.
Yeah, Riding High said height and reach. You watch the jab. That's true. Kevin Gastelum's a little short. He's 5'9", 71.5-inch reach, and Rodriguez is 6'1" with a 74. So Rodriguez is going to want to stay on the outside for sure and use that boxing. Keep him at range with that jab. But I just don't think he's going to be able to do it for 3 rounds.
Yeah, and he reacts different. I think once Kelvin really touches him, puts the power on him, it's going to be a little different. Obviously, we've seen him in close fights, but it was at 185. We don't really know how serious he was taking it. The split loss,
He
the
wasn't a
downhill.
185er either.
No, never was. He
Yep.
went 5 with Whittaker, went 5 with Cannonier in a fight that you could have argued was 2-2 going into the 5th. So, end of the day, he's fought the best at middleweight, and now he came down and fought a really tough matchup at 170.
Yeah,
It's a
very tough.
huge step down in a must-win fight.
The welterweight division is way better than middleweight too. Like, let's be honest. Like, Sean Brady would destroy a lot of middleweights trying to go down to welterweight.
Could, yeah, definitely, for sure. You got Shavkat, all these guys that are just, at the top of the division.
Yep.
Usman even still is a problem. Yeah, Burns.
Effie, good point. D-Rod has chicken legs. He does.
He's 37 too, if I'm not mistaken, right? 37.
Yeah, he's 37. Old. He's a little old. I thought like the ages should be flipped.
I just don't think he has a real game plan either. He's at Extreme Couture now too. He's bounced between a few gyms, and I think he's got probably good sparring partners, but not the best game plan coming into the fight.
True. Yeah, I think his game plan is just stay at range and hope for a good shot and hope for the best. Like, he's just not a finisher, and he's just a point fighter, point boxer. He's technical, but I just don't see how he wins. He's gonna have to literally out volume Kelvin and maybe drop him, and I don't see that happening. But co-main event, we got Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov, and I'll go ahead here. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun fight. Like, everyone on Twitter is like, is this fight going over 1.5? Like, these guys are friends, they're sparring partners, and blah 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 blah. But I'm gonna let you guys know this fight is gonna go under 1.5. I don't think Pavlovich gives a shit. Like, this guy has one method and one method only. Like, he goes forward and looks for the kill in the first round, whether he gets killed or he gets the kill. Like, he's kill or be killed. Like, powerful striker. He's gonna throw some hands, and once he sees that you are maybe slightly dazed after a punch, he's gonna even go crazier and try to get you out of there after that. Now, Volkov is super big. Like, I think he's going to have maybe 3 inches of height, if I remember, 4 inches, but the reach is 4 inches of Pavlovich. So, like, it's a little crazy, but I would say Volkov is obviously the more well-rounded guy. He can mix in some wrestling. He's not really the greatest grappler. The power is going to be on Pavlovich's side, obviously. Now, if Volkov can get those kicks going, get the kicks up the middle, keep him at bay, that's going to be his best shot. Like, extend this fight as long as you can. But I just think eventually Pavlovich is going to touch the chin, and I think Volkov is going to go down. So it's just that power difference. You only need that one punch in heavyweight, and I just don't think Volkov is going to be able to survive for a 1.5 rounds, to be honest. And I think that's the only way you're going to finish Pavlovich is if you go into the 3rd round and get it, or maybe by decision, which I don't think it will. But Pavlovich by knockout, I'll say under 1.5 at some point, but it's hard to play the money line at -250 or so. You might as well just do Pavlovich by knockout, something like that, because I think that's how he wins. If he wins, you shouldn't just play the money line on it. I don't think this fight goes to decision. Like I said, I know a lot of people think this fight's going to be a sparring fight because they're friends, but I think friends are going to be put aside for a while, I will say. So what do you think?
It's still a weird dynamic because you got to fight. Like, imagine you had to fight Cody next week, right?
Yep.
You're gonna be really looking forward to that, bro. Like, it's like, I don't know, maybe we just go out there and like have a little sparring match, bro. Get paid.
I'm sure Volkov wants that.
For sure, man. But I actually think, let's look pre-UFC. This guy, Sergey Pavlovich, actually is capable of winning a decision. It's not like the theory hasn't been proven. He's actually won versus Mikhail Makdakin, who's a good fighter, and Alexei Kudin, who's also a good fighter in Fight Nights Global. I know it was a long time ago. He's got multiple wins by decision on the record. He's shown you can go the 15 minutes, and he's patient because, he's not I don't think he has the best gas tank in the world, to be honest with you. And I do like what you said about the front kicks of Volkov. I think the zapping shots to the body could be there. And I actually think, Volkov's not the worst striker, bro. He's only been
No, he's
knocked
not.
out.
He's technical.
Only knocked out one time ever, and it was by Derek Lewis in a third round. Derek Lewis is the leader in UFC for knockout
True.
history, so we can't even really shame him for that. And like you said, it's heavyweight, my man. That one punch can end it.
Yep.
We saw that last time out, man, against Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
He had hit Tom Aspinall too.
I thought Tom was going down.
Wild fight, man, and he could have because he got cracked.
He did.
But the chin held up. And yes, he's got a bunch of first round knockouts. The weirdest fight to me was the Curtis Blades one because he hit him a few times there, and Blades is super chinny. Doesn't put him away right away. And Blades doesn't shoot a takedown for what it's worth. And we saw originally what's the path to maybe beating this guy, Alistair Overeem, which in that fight, if you go back and watch, Pavlovich was the one initiating the takedowns. He was trying to get the grappling. So to say he's only a puncher,
yeah,
can't say that because he's trying to implement the grappling. Was it successful? No, Alistair able to get back to feet, eventually put him on the ground, and then he lands a big strike. And it may be a weird finish. I don't know what you want to say about the ground game of Pavlovich because it's really just an unknown to me at that point. Whereas Volkov, we know he lasted 25 minutes on the ground with Curtis Blades. Obviously, Blades won that decision. It was a close fight. We had interesting path. And the guy has a good submission game. BJJ brown belt.
He submitted Tuivasa.
Right. Obviously, Tuivasa, not the best. But what is he? He's a power puncher.
Yep.
Power puncher with not the best grappling. Obviously, he's a lot shorter, a lot fatter than a guy like Sergey Pavlovich is beefed up, bro.
He's on roids.
Beefed up. But I wouldn't be shocked if this is a 15-minute sparring match. And I think Volkov is a live underdog, man. I really do. This guy's been top 5 in the heavyweight division for the longest time. Sergey Pavlovich, yeah, he's got quick knockouts, but who are they against? Guys like Derek Lewis, who I think actually Volkov gave, and we saw that fight. Yeah, Lewis got the win, got the knockout, but Volkov really just cooked him for the entirety of the fight until he got knocked out at the end of the. I would say but he got knocked out by the Black Beast at the end of the fight. I can't shame him for that loss. Other losses are via decision. So, like I said, I think Pavlovich is live to win via decision. I wouldn't get cute if you're on that side trying to take the knockout. I think it's live. Yeah, Volkov does keep his chin up in there, but he does have good range. And like I said, he's only been ever knocked out once. So he only ever paid the piper for it one time, and it was versus a knockout leader. Pavlovich, man, dangerous early. What do we know about him, though, after 3 minutes, 4 minutes? What if he takes a few body kicks from Volkov? I know Volkov could go 25 minutes. So I'm going to go with the guy with the more experience, the guy with I think has fought I want to say better competition, but they fought similar competition. And I think the guy...
You'd probably give it to Volkov the edge in competition. I mean, he's fought... I mean, maybe not as of... well, actually, in looking back at it, it's probably similar. You're right.
Similar, but the experience is what I'm
the experience, yeah.
And, the fact that I know Pavlovich, yeah, he's won a few decisions, but I think, he takes a few body kicks, Volkov start to cook him, and I think Volkov's live here, man. He's a dangerous striker, and if he's able to avoid the knockout blow, he's the better fighter, in my opinion. So give me the better mixed martial arts fighter. Yeah, knockouts could happen. They happen in the UFC. It happens all the time. But I think Volkov's live. And I even think if he gets this fight to the ground, he could get a submission TKO victory even from ground and pound. So, or even like a standing guillotine. He's so tall. The leverage could just be there. Pavlovich, like I said, he was trying to initiate the wrestling. So I wouldn't be shocked if we even see some grappling here as well. Yeah, I like Volkov here. Dog or pass for me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. Bro, I could totally see this just being Pavlovich comes out there, boom, 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 money. That's it. Fight's over. Ha, we're buddy again.
Well, this is the thing with this card. There's not a lot of like fights where you're like, this is gonna happen, and that's the only way. Like, you can make cases for like a lot of these guys. Like, the only one maybe would be, I don't know, freaking the new guy that's coming in, Trocoli. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can literally make a case for every fighter. Well, maybe Daniel Rodriguez. I don't think he's gonna win, but there's a chance. Like, there's a slight chance, but that's the lowest of the low. Like, every guy has a chance to win this fight. There isn't like a crazy.
I always give somebody a chance to win. I mean, Cody Brundage beat Jacob Malkoun. It wasn't the prettiest win.
Oh, don't bring that up.
He won. That's it. That's the end of the day. I'll always give the guy a chance, and I always look for both paths.
With that fight, I'll just bring it up real quick since you brought up. Like, I'm not really even mad that Brundage won. It's just everybody who had round 1 KO or DQ just rubbing it in everyone's face on Twitter, and I'm like, you did not expect that to happen.
Can you believe
Don't act like you said Cody Brundage is going to go out there and get DQ'd, and that's.
And he actually cashed it 2 times in a row, bro. The very next fight, he cashes it again.
He did. Now, that was more impressive. I will give him that one. But that one, I was like salty as hell. I'm like, are you serious, dude?
Yeah, man. I had a question for this guy, maybe in the comments, if you don't mind.
Which one?
He said, JB, let me see that slip. You know who wins this. Who wins it? Tell me in the comments, and I may or may not have a bet on this. If you tell me who you think's going to win.
There you go,
I already
Tanner.
told you who I think is going to win, and maybe I'll post the bet slip.
There you go, Tanner.
My money's down.
There it is. It's down on something. We'll find out who. Main event. We only have like 11 fights. I feel like we were flying through this.
Flying, bro.
Robert Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov. Who do you like?
If this was 3, 4, 5 even years ago, man, I'd be taking Robert Whittaker in a fight.
Oh, this was like 2 years ago.
But the durability, man, he's been hurt by Till. This reminds me of actually the Nasruddin Imavov fight versus Jared Kennedy. And say what you want, I know Jared Kennedy is 40 years old.
That was such a bad stoppage, but okay.
Robert Whittaker, he got hurt. That's the thing. And Robert Whittaker and we don't know what the refs now. Robert Whittaker gets hurt in every single one of these fights, man. And he's not 40 years old in real years. But how many years, let's just ask a question. That's food for thought. How many years did the first Xiao Romero fight take off of his career? Maybe life.
At least 2 or 3.
And then I think he fought him with a messed up leg for like 25 minutes. So all the wear and tear of his career, he gets elbowed and dropped by Darren Till in the first round. Hurt bad by Israel Adesanya in the second. Obviously, we know what happened in the first. He gets viciously sparked cold. So we know that's able to happen. We've seen it as of recently with Dricus du Plessis. So here's the thing. I think Rob is good. I think he's got even Paulo Costa hurt him, right? And we've seen Paulo Costa, right? Like he's kind of on the downswing. Hasn't really had the most fights. He's a good fighter, but
it was a good head kick, though. I'll give him that.
Oh, the hell of a head kick. I don't know how the heck he ate it. We could be talking about.
So I mean, that's a good debate. Like, are you saying like he doesn't have the chin because he keeps getting hurt, or does he have a chin because he didn't get knocked out right there?
I mean, I think it's dodgy because we saw. Who knows? I think both the knockdowns. I think the Adesanya one might have been early in the round, but then he starts to grapple. But I know the Till one was right at the end of the round. Who's to say that he hurts him there and doesn't finish him? And
true.
Like du Plessis was able to finish him, man. And even had him in some sub attempts as well. And Ikram, say, what you want about Robert Whittaker. He's got X amount of takedown percentage. But when we watch, you can take him down, bro. Especially if you're able to rock him and mix in the hands. Yoel Romero is able to put him on his back. Obviously a great wrestler, but it's not the style of wrestling that Ikram presents. That Dagestani style, it's a little bit different. We haven't seen it in the UFC. Yeah, he got it in the Contender Series fight. That sick Kimura. He's gotten a few of them on the record as well. I don't think he's going to go out there necessarily Kimura, this guy, but I could see some front chokes. Obviously has him in the arsenal. He's not going to be out of that, area with complete lack of grappling. This guy was actually stuffing Khamzat Chimaev in the first round, which we've seen nobody really able to do. So very impressive stuff there. And say what you want about the last 2 wins. He finishes Warlley Alves. Warlley Alves super old. Phil Hall is obviously chinny, but he cracked him with some power shots there. And I think, the guy clearly has power. He clearly packs a punch. So I think in the first 2 rounds, he's going to be super dangerous. I think if he's able to land on Robert Whittaker, he has a chance to put him away. I think this could be even a spot where they had originally thought, Khamzat was going to be able to get the knockout. Now they're bringing Ikram Aliskerov, another guy. I think the Saudi fans, they want to go home happy. I think they want a guy that they could root for. Obviously, they have a whole night of fighters, but they need a real guy that they could support. A real guy in a main event. This is a high class, like we talked about in the beginning of the video, a high class area. They're looking for the best of the best fights, and what better to give them a guy in Ikram Aliskerov? Not really a marquee name, a guy that they could get behind. A big win over Robert Whittaker. This is the biggest fight of his career. Well, this is, Robert Whittaker said he never heard of Ikram Aliskerov before this fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
I think it's a little bit of mind games there.
Yeah, is it, or is it a lack of respect? Because
No, I think it's mind games just to say, because I'm sure everyone's like, do you know who Ikram Aliskerov is? Like, he's very good. He's like, no, I don't know who he is, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you have to give the guy respect. He's obviously came into the UFC with a good 2-fight streak. We're just going to throw him to the wolves and ruin it. I don't think so. I think they're trying to actually give him the push. And when we talk about lines, I think this is a bait for the public. I think we're going to just dangle this little minus 140 on Robert Whittaker. Yeah, we'll keep creeping up the line. And I think the sharps will probably buy back. So that's not necessarily to say that, the sharp money will be on Ikram. You got to bet him. He's the side 100%, because at the end of the day, I think Robert Whittaker could knock him out as well. We've seen it time and time again. He's the gatekeeper of the division. He's the guy that, once he's able to time Ikram Aliskerov, I don't think Ikram Aliskerov has the best striking defense either, Johnny, to be quite honest with you. And I think if Robert Whittaker is able to get the timing, if he's able to stuff the takedowns of Ikram Aliskerov, maybe able to even extend this fight a little bit longer, I think we start to see a live Robert Whittaker here. So I will not shame anybody taking the Robert Whittaker side, but for me, I have big worries about the durability. When I see a guy getting hurt in every single fight, I have to say, when is it the time that it's just going to blow up? And that's what happened versus Duplessis, where Duplessis was a plus 300 underdog. And now I'm seeing people that were taking Robert Whittaker at minus 400. And if you did, that's fair. But now I don't see how you took him there against Dricus Duplessis, and you come out here and say Ikram Aliskerov. I'm going to bet Ikram Aliskerov, and I've seen that a few times this week. So
yeah,
I'm interested to hear your take on this fight, my man. I'd love to hear if you have a stronger take than me, but I'll lean Ikram Aliskerov just off the durability.
Yeah, this is more of a lean, but it's going to be the opposite. It's a lean on the Whittaker side. Like, I do agree with you with the chinniness of Whittaker. He's been getting rocked or knocked out lately. It's a big worry, because we've seen Ikram, use his striking, getting those knockdowns or knockouts in his last couple fights. But what I keep going back to is, like, Whittaker is like real good. Like, he's fought the best of the best. Like, Ikram, he's fought Warley Alves, who's a 170er on short notice. He fought Phil Haas, Phil Haas is chinny as hell, but he's chins. But he's very good on paper, though. I'll put it that way. But like, and that's Ikram's it's hard for him to find fights. Like, I'm not putting that against him. Like, he's fighting the people that is put in front of him, and he's taking an opportunity. But this is a major step up in competition. Like, you're going from Warley Alves to top 5, maybe of all time middleweights. Like, Whittaker is amazing. Like, just the boogeyman for Whittaker. Whittaker would be the champion if Izzy wasn't in this division forever. Like, he's one of those guys, like Max Holloway and Volkanovski. Like, Max Holloway's boogeyman's Volkanovski. He can never get the belt because Volkanovski's there. Like, one of those things. Like, Whittaker's good. Like, this is going to be a fun fight. Like, I know Aliskerov, sorry, is very good. Like, he's good wrestling, good striking. He's got the power. But I need to see a little bit more. Like, I can't just, like, in the line is like you said, it's like baity. It's like, do you want to take, like, this is a perfect prime hammer spot for Whittaker, but you're like, man, but this Aliskerov guy, like, he could be the next big thing. Like, he can make that step up, but this is like 2 steps up. Like, it's one of those, like, I have to pick Whittaker, but it wouldn't shock me if Aliskerov comes in here and gets that knockout in the first or second round, or maybe get some wrestling going. But one thing that does worry me too, another thing I like Whittaker for, is this is a 5-round fight. And the longer the fight goes, I do think it does favor, like you said, Whittaker. And so the first 2 rounds are going to be a little bit worrisome. Aliskerov wasn't training for a 5-round fight when he was supposed to fight Trocoli last week or whatever. So totally 2 different fighters. Whittaker, I think, is, he's probably the more technical striker, but he can get caught and he can get taken down. So it just depends, I guess, if you want to look at it as, do you think this fight's going to get out of the second round? If you think so, you probably want to bet Whittaker or live bet him after the first or second round. Now, if you don't think there's going to be a finish, then it's probably going to be on the Aliskerov side, and it's probably going to be early. So I'm going to go with Whittaker. I think he can potentially get a late stoppage, like 4-5 decision prop. I kind of like that on FanDuel. I don't know what the odds are, but I'm going to look at it right after this. But I like that play for Whittaker if you're on the Whittaker side. But if you're on the Aliskerov side, I think he can get a finish in rounds like 1, 2, or 3. So like I said, this is just a big step up for him. Otherwise, I probably would pick him. But Whittaker is Whittaker. Like, I can't not. The one worry for me is just the chin. Now, what if Aliskerov comes in and just wrestles? Like, the chin doesn't even matter anymore at this point. Like, I want Aliskerov to come in and wrestle because I do think Rob will be able to survive, drag this fight. He's been in numerous 5-round fights in his career. He knows how to do a 5-round fight, and maybe Aliskerov doesn't. Maybe he gasses himself out in the second or third round. Who knows?
Yeah, there's some questions for sure, and I think that's why we may be potentially getting this line. And I think you're going to be, even if Ikram doesn't win this fight, I think he could get finished, like you said, just because there's a potential. Like this dude, Robert Whittaker, just reads him, makes it look like he's in the Matrix. We've seen it time and time again, but the recent form, I don't know if I see that. And I think potentially, if Ikram even wins this fight, you're never going to see this line on him again. So,
oh no.
He's never going to
no
be
way.
Plus 140 or whatever he is at now. And I think the wrestling upside's there too. So
yeah, I'm actually shocked he is the underdog. I actually thought there was going to be more money coming in on Ikram.
Yeah, short notice too could be. And, obviously the public, I think, is going to,
yeah, I mean,
more so no Whittaker.
It's just a short notice fight. Like, he was supposed to fight last week. So it's just, for me, it's a 5-round fight, and you're fighting someone way better than Trocoli. Like, leaps and bounds better than Antonio Trocoli or whatever his name is. So, but we got a special guest in the house. Let me get this up here. We got Blood Money MMA Bets chiming in, saying, yo, what's up? Appreciate you coming out, Cody. Great show, great guest. We miss you so much, Cody. All the chat was wondering where you were at. We called ourselves, what was it? Jew Blood Money MMA Bets or whatever. But I appreciate you coming out, bro. Hope you're having fun on your little vacation. You're in Santa Claus, Indiana. I like it.
I never heard of that one, bro.
Yeah,
we got beef with that guy.
It's literally, if you know Jay Cutler, he's from there, and also it's like Christmas there every day. Obviously, Santa Claus, Indiana. So pretty. I driven through that place, but I never like stayed or anything like that. So it's pretty interesting. Let's see. Tanner says Rob will get rocked and then beat that ass when Ikram slows. I can see that totally. Ikram by sub, writing highlights.
Seeing a lot of Ikram by sub lately, man. Could be a club and sub, but
it could be.
Robert
I think that would be the way.
Even versus Duplessis, I mean, he was getting into some, positions that were a little bit scary, but he knew exactly what to do to get out. Obviously, Ikram, a high-level grappler, maybe a little bit more of a submission threat, so it's possible. Got to see the numbers.
Yeah,
you could also knock him out, or Whittaker could win. So it's like, I gotta see.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of these fights where like I like this side, but man, I could see this side. I could see this side. Like there's just so many ways it can go.
Are we gonna do the plays? Are we gonna do like the plays at the end of the show? I love that.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure. I was gonna go through the chat real quick, and then we'll get going here. Jumbo put a good point here, though. Ikram, technically, I don't know if he cut like really hard, but he did have to cut twice. So who knows? Like if that it's gonna play a part or not. All right. I like it. Let's see.
I don't know. Did he cut weight twice though? Like, I don't think
It was pretty close. Like I think that fight got canceled like 3 or 4 days before.
That's what I'm saying. So would he really be cutting the weight? And then when I heard,
yeah, it wasn't like a hard. I wouldn't say he didn't cut like the last 5 pounds.
He's on the diet, so that's where you need to be at anyway. Yeah, so
he might be okay.
He's fine, bro. He's fine.
Hopefully, unless he's not a weight bully.
I heard on the.
If he's a weight bully though, then maybe he had to cut like 10 pounds. You know what I mean?
He was playing Trocoli, dog. He was chilling.
But all right, let's see what we got. Let's do a couple. You want to do 1 or 2 plays? What do you want to do?
Your show, brother. I appreciate you having me.
There is lines on the Shera Trocoli fight.
What do we got?
Shera is -700, boys and girls.
I think he'll go up to -1,000 by by the end of today.
He is not worth playing at all. You want to do a safer play, or do you want to do like a fun
Let's
plus
do both.
money?
Let's do we'll do a one each leg for us for a parlay. We'll make a 2-leg parlay, safe like you said,
and then we'll do like a riskier one,
plus money dog or something, or a prop.
Love it. Okay,
nice.
Let's start with the safe one. What's a good play you like?
I'm gonna say it, bro, right here. I don't know which one I'm gonna take.
You're gonna go Kelvin?
Which Kelvin should I take, bro? I think
should we just do the Kelvin Jared parlay?
No, you mean Nasrat.
Nasrat, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yes. No, Kelvin and Kelvin.
Kelvin and Kelvin. We should do it. It's plus money.
What's the odds, bro? I love it.
Plus 103. I like it.
Plus 103. We're good on that. 2-leg.
Yep. I'm gonna put that. Put it in the chat. That's a good.
I
mean, it just makes sense.
Yep. They're literally the same. Gonna get 2 in one night, bro. Parlay.
That's hilarious, dude.
Heck yeah, bro. You got anything for the plus money underdog? Any prop? Anything juicy? I think I gave it out already, but I like the Bredson Ribeiro by submission. I think he's going to get a guillotine choke versus fraud of a Russian, brother. Man, fraud of a Russian.
You are going to go crazy on that prop. I like
ineligible record, brother. Like how if you find guys.
Let me see what that prop is. Hold on.
It doesn't even count. Plus 1,000 on DraftKings.
Oh, we're gonna go like plus 10,000. Okay.
Oh my god, plus 10,000.
Well, if I add my
we're adding them both.
Yeah, we're gonna do a parlay.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. You already know I'm loving it.
Let me think of one here.
This is a JB Johnny special, bro.
Oof. I almost want to just do Dalby just because you're doing something crazy.
Nah, dude, do what you want to do. Like, do what you think is the best leg. I set my leg. Don't even worry about what I pick. You just pick what you pick, bro. What you would have picked, and we'll add it up.
And we'll go wild.
Yeah, man. Just whatever you think.
I was thinking about doing Dalby round 3 or decision. And that's at plus 400.
It's probably like what? Plus 4,700?
I mean, let me put your let me put yours in there and we'll see what it is.
I think it's like plus 4,700. That's my guess.
5,400.
Nice. Let's go. That's a juicy one, bro.
You want to do it?
Whoo! I'll throw $5 on it.
Why not?
I'll throw 5 on it.
Ribeiro. You know what? Just for shits and gigs, let me see what fight ends by sub in that fight.
Oh, I think it's like plus for the you talking about Bredson versus
just to see
like
if
plus 300. I think
it is plus 300. That would be plus 1,900 if we did both of those.
Not a bad.
What do you think?
Bro.
What do you think?
I don't mind it. I think
you know what? Let's do that. Because I can actually see Magomedov getting a submission.
Oh, I could totally too. And I don't mind that look.
Let's do that. Let's just throw out that one.
People are thinking it's probably going to be a KO. I think the sub slide, bro. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's see.
I like it.
Ends by sub.
But really, at the end of the day, we know what we getting. We getting that Bredson plus 1K.
Do that by itself. That one is not parlay worthy. Like, just do that one by itself.
It totally is. It totally is. That Russian's a fraud, bro. I'm telling you, he ain't submitting fucking dick.
He can.
Brother, I'm telling you, I don't know. He could.
But hey, if Ribeiro gets a sub, that's all that matters.
Bredson been subbed. He's been subbed.
Yeah.
This Russian ain't the guy, brother. I'm telling you, he ain't the guy.
Not at minus 850. Not at minus 300. Not at those prices. This guy's losing eventually, and I want to be there to find out.
Let's see. All right, so this is going to be the first play, the safe play of the show. We got the Kelvin versus Nazareth money line parlay. They're the same guy. He's going to win twice. Plus 103. You can't beat those odds, guys. It's the same fighter. Love it. And then the crazy
the first one. Do we cash?
Oh, of course. Because he's going to win the second, obviously. And then the second crazy one, fight ends by sub in the Magomedov Ribeiro fight, plus Dalby round 3 decision. And that's at plus 1,900. I kind of like that a lot. I think it hits.
Like it. I think Ribeiro wins, bro. He might even knock him out. That's my call. Let's get this money, baby. I love it.
Go. Well, I appreciate you coming on, JB. Do you have anything you want to say before you go? Promote what you do, all that good stuff?
Yeah, man, I'll probably be back at the end of this week with another show. Check my Twitter. I have MMA Line Mover. Instagram, MMA Line Mover. Appreciate you, bro. You're always shouting me out. You're always giving me the love. And I appreciate you having me on to have the conversation. We've been chilling for about 1:40. My dog is chilling right here. She's getting jealous, so I'm probably going to go hang out with her. And that's what I got. So maybe it's a sign. Maybe the dogs are barking this weekend.
There you go. Love it. Yeah, definitely check out Jewish Better. Like I said, the description is below where you can get his link on Twitter, MMA Line Mover on Instagram. Check him out. Follow him. Puts out his bets, all that good stuff. And we're going to put out a bet later on this week, too. I'll do all the thumbnails and good stuff. We'll do the Kelvin and Nazareth parlay. It's going to be funny. But definitely appreciate everybody showing up, hanging out with us. Hope everybody does well on their bets. Take care. Have fun. Also, I will say, JB, if you want to, I'm going to do a watch along on Saturday. So if you're down, you want to come for a couple fights, come on down.
Sounds good, bro. We'll cash it together. Send me the link and we'll get it.
Right on. Yeah, if we get like 3, 4, 5 people in there hanging out with us to watching the fights, it'd be fun.
Oh yeah, I freak out too every time I bet on. I'm crazy, dude. I'm like a freaking. I'm the Jewish guy.
Right on, man. Appreciate you coming out. Definitely check out Jewish Bear. Like I said, take care, guys. Have fun. Let's catch.